Recording. Good morning, everyone. There is no doubt कि best speakers जो होते हैं हमारे वो अच्छे storytellers होते हैं. Best writers are very good storytellers. Best leaders are also very good storytellers. Best teachers, trainers, coaches, and to an extent, every parent. Best parents are also good storytellers. खास करके, right? So storytelling is not only the way to engage people with your ideas, ये बड़ा critical part है हमारी life की success story का, जिसे हम शायद इतना तवज्जो या इतना importance नहीं देते और शायद देते हैं, but अगर हम consciously इसको समझें कि storytelling क्यों ज़रूरी है और हम निकल के कैसे आए बाहर, how do we get out of our comfort zone to be a brilliant storyteller and how important it is. That will really shift our lives. Good morning. Thank you once again for being here on an early Saturday morning after a holy festival for another interesting expert speak session by Plan to Win. I can see a lot of new faces here. The Plan to Win program is a life management system which has a community that stands for your accomplishments. Here, you not only get the strategies and techniques, but also the attitude you need to make the most of your precious time. हमारे साथ हम लोग 7 सुपर लीडर्स कहते हैं, एवेंजर्स कहते हैं इंटरनली अपने आप को, जो इस कंट्रीब्यूशन की स्पेस में खड़े हैं. अभी हमारा क्वार्टर एंड हुआ है और इट इज़ टाइम टू ऑल्सो रीलुक वेयर हैव वी कम. वी आर कमिंग इनटू ऑलमोस्ट अप्रैल, so we will have some very interesting offers for you. So stay tuned till the very end to know about all of that. Yeah. It is time to recreate and move ourselves towards realizing our goals. So, like I said, persuasion is the centerpiece in our lives. And storytelling plays a very, very important role in being able to
मैम आवाज नहीं आ रही.
Jia, I think GK is managing something, Gitanjali. So, okay, guys. So my name is Darshana. So excuse me for not starting the video. There is some issue, so I'm just going to get into this. I have written our Plan to Win mission. Can I request Shalaka, one of our super leaders, to read out the mission statement? Shalaka?
Yeah, Darshana, I'll just read out for you. For all of us.
Yeah.
So our mission is Plan to Win has a vision to build a community that creates a future of choice where success is followed by ease and grace through creativity, commitment, and integrity. So that is our mission. Thank you, Darshana.
Awesome, awesome.
For creating
So
such
guys,
a beautiful space for us.
Thank you so much. Suneri ji, can you please mute yourself? Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. मैम वीडियो दिखाई नहीं दे रहा आपका.
Oh, sorry, I was in mute. मेरे वीडियो में थोड़ा सा नहीं हो पा रहा है. मैं अपने लैपटॉप से लॉगिन करूंगी. So just give me a few minutes, okay? You will definitely all see me. और पुनीत जी, I request you to take this platform and go ahead and create your magic. And I'm sure you're going to instill some of these storytelling skills into each of us. So looking forward to hear from you, Mr. Puneet.
Okay.
Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you. So a very good morning to all my friends here. I was looking forward to this session very much because I heard a lot of things about Plan to Win. I'm really very, very excited as I open up this session. Someone can help me because Gitanjali started with Hindi. So I just want to understand before I go ahead, what should be my medium of communication today? Hindi, English, what makes more sense to all of you guys?
So Punita ji, both will work.
Okay.
Because there might be some people. So I want to know from everybody, can you please put in the chat that is Hindi okay? If anybody has an issue with Hindi, then please write only English because we have some international, participants also sometimes joining.
Okay.
So yeah, 50-50 is that we usually use.
So then I'll go with English. Okay. I will go with English.
I'm so sorry, my computer crashed. वो भी holiday mood में था. Sorry everyone. So thank you Darshana. I think the team took over. So glad I'm back. We are resilient.
So, GK, Puneet asked a question. I don't know whether you got that. Whether which medium of which language should he converse in, English or Hindi? So can you take this forward, please?
Thank you, Darshana. Thank you. Puneet, I think a mixture of Hindi and English would be ideal. If you're saying something in Hindi, then try and just repeat once in English.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Great. Great, friends. So let me take over.
Now, let me introduce our prolific speaker for the day, our expert. Puneet Bhatnagar is a branding and business mentor, an innovation expert with a rich experience of more than 25 years. He was the creative head at Star News, part of think tank that launched the news channel in Hindi. He's been creative director at Bates Asia Mumbai. His creative work has won international awards and also finds a proud place in the showcase of Indian advertising. As a media and advertising professional, he's rubbed shoulders with the likes of James Murdoch, Amitabh, Big B, steering brands and advertising through tough marketing situations. His client list includes companies like Unilever, Nokia, Star Plus, Tata Salt, and others. He's also the co-founder of Creativity Mission India, an initiative to promote creative thinking in society. In this capacity, he is leading a city branding project for the ancient city of Ujjain, a community of more than 1.5 lakhs members on social media, and another community of engineers spread in 50 plus countries. Definitely, he has a great influence and he's had a beautiful, prolific life. Let's benefit from the interaction. Over to you, Puneet. Please share about storytelling, the need for storytelling, and how we can be amazing storytellers, how we can harness the powers of story within. Thank you.
Thank you, Gitanjali, and thank you everyone who is here today after Holi, the very next morning. And I hope none of you are in a trance after the Holi, after the Bhang and Thandai Seven. And though when I say this, I hope none of you are in trance. I can tell you that many of you will be in trance when we will be talking today. And to start with, Gitanjali, I would say congratulations and a big thumbs up to you and the team at Plan to Win. What a kind of initiative where people come together to learn from each other, from experts. And the topic you have chosen today, I won't comment on the speaker today, but the topic you have chosen today is very apt, so timely, because Tomorrow is World Storytelling Day, 20th March. And so I think it's the right moment that we are talking about it today. And it's important, we all know, it's so important that they have a World Storytelling Day itself, which tells us that it has an importance in our lives. Now, storytelling was always there, from the early days, from the primitive days of mankind. Storytelling was there. All those pictures on the wall, the figures that our ancestors created in the caves were actually stories. And if you ask me, we are different from animals because we tell stories. While in Panchatantra, we have all seen characters, the animal characters talking to each other. But in reality, I think we are the only animal on this planet who can tell stories, who can create stories. And I think stories have a big impact on why we, the human being, the human race, became what we are today. I will talk a lot about stories today, but uh, more than anything else, we will talk about the stories within. Because I'm saying, while in introduction, we spoke about how to tell a story, how to persuade. But I am saying the first audience is us, because stories are always there in us, within us. Even if when we are all alone, we tell stories to the self. And today we will focus a little bit there, because there is one thing which is not generally talked about. So let me start with one little exercise. Just choose one word. Just choose one word for yourself and share it with me in the chat box, or if you want to say it aloud on the video, say it. I just want to get a bouquet of words today as I open the session. Okay. I hope everyone contribute to this. You can take little bit of time, maybe few moments, because it is you just.
Puneet ji,
Yeah.
can you just say this in Hindi also? There has been a request.
Okay.
What are you asking them to do? Yeah.
मैं आप सबसे पूछ रहा हूँ कि अपनी जिंदगी में से आपने अभी तक जो भी कुछ सीखा है, आपके जो भी विचार हैं, खुद को रिप्रेजेंट करने के लिए, या आप क्या चाहते हैं उसको बताने के लिए, कोई एक शब्द चैट बॉक्स में लिख डालिए.
मैं बोलना चाहूंगी यहाँ पे जितने लोग सुन रहे हैं, आपको मैक्सिमम वैल्यू तभी मिलेगी जब आप फुल 100% गेम में प्ले कर रहे हैं. यू आर पार्टिसिपेटिंग फुली फ्रॉम योर लाइफ. दिस सेशन इज वेरी मच अबाउट दैट. सो गो अहेड एंड क्रिएट ऑन
जो
चैट बॉक्स.
जो आपका दिल हो लिख डालिए. हिंदी में लिखिए, अंग्रेजी में लिखिए. गुड 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 गुड. तो हमारे पास बहुत सारे शब्द आए. We have a bouquet of words with a wide range, and from miracle, extraordinary, happiness, amazing, elegance, grateful, happiness, accomplished, powerful, peaceful, art, gratitude, struggle, play, extraordinary, okay, shukrana. I love that. really don't know. That's a tough one. Okay, someone is being honest. Question again मैंने बोल दिया है, enjoy all work, peace, power. So now just think about it. Just think about it. In the dictionary, there are lakhs of words. Lakhs of words. Why you choose? Why you chose the word that you have chosen? Just think about it for a minute and say why you chose this only.
Yes, sir. Can I say something?
Yeah, please.
I said powerful because my main cause is I'm feeling I'm less powerful, powerless.
Okay,
So I
okay,
choose to be a powerful.
okay. Great, great.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Yeah, Puneet, I could go.
Yeah.
Okay, somebody else can take on. Yeah. Shalaka?
यस पुनीत जी, मैंने शुक्राना इसलिए बोला बिकॉज शुक्रिया अलग अलग लैंग्वेजेस में आता है. थैंक यू पीपल इंटरप्रेट इन वेरियस लैंग्वेज, but heart of it is thankfulness and being grateful. So I feel that, and that's the reason I said शुक्राना.
Okay, great.
I'm complete.
Yeah.
पुनीत, किसी ने लिखा है ये क्वेश्चन वापस. कविता पूछ रही है कि एक बार आप क्वेश्चन और बता दीजिए कि हमें क्या करना था.
So the question is, write one word, single word in the chat box which represent you or represent what you want. आप अपनी जिंदगी में जितने भी हजारों लाखों शब्द हैं उनमें से कोई एक शब्द लिखिए और ये सोचिए कि इतने हजारों शब्दों में से वही शब्द आप क्यों चुन रहे हैं.
So I want to share about mine. I said miracle क्योंकि मुझे मिरेकल में वंडर दिखता है, मुझे मिरेकल में इंस्पिरेशन दिखती है, मुझे फुलफिलमेंट दिखता है.
Okay, great. Anyone else who would like to add?
Good morning.
Yes, sir. Even I would like to add. Okay, please.
Okay, thank you. I wrote abundance. For me, I believe in abundance of whatever I want in life, and that's how I create myself. That
Okay.
I am abundant. So,
Great, great,
thank you.
great.
Thank you. I'm complete.
Yeah.
Ma'am, please go ahead.
So can I add?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, bliss. I wrote bliss, and I feel blissful in each and every moment of my life because I feel every moment, every person, every circumstance is something somewhere I learn and make my life more purposeful.
Okay.
So that adds more value to feel more happy and joyful. So I feel blessed and blissful.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great. Okay. Anything else?
I said extraordinary because we have unique qualities in us
Okay.
which we have to bring out.
Okay. Thank you very much. So that helps me understand the group that I am talking to. Okay. That helps me understand your backstories, and so I can relate to you better, and I can choose my material that I am going to present to you today. Okay. So one thing that I understand from the kind of words that came here, mostly those were very, very positive words. Very positive words. I would, but here I would relate a little story. Long back, I went for a NDA examination. So I wanted to be part of military. And so to get an entrance into that NDA program, uh, we had to go through many psychological tests, physical tests. They also have a test where it is called, I think, TAT, thematic appreciation test. They gave They gave you a picture and you have to write a story on that picture. In that test, they had given many negative circumstances, like someone with a knife uh, and telling someone else to surrender, someone with a gun, and a lot of things which are very negative. The first thing that comes to your mind is, oh my God, why I have to write about it? Now, I was a very positive person, very positive person, extra positive person. And I converted all those stories into positive stories, very, very positive stories. And let me give you good news that later on I was not selected. And in the exit interview, when they asked me, do you have any question? I said, I had written such wonderful stories, positive stories, but I am not selected. So can you tell us why? And they told me, look, Puneet, there are two things. Number one, they say we want very practical people in military, army. We don't need people who are so positive. When they see a gun, they don't see, they don't say the gun is for my protection. They see gun is a gun. It can kill you, it can protect you. So we don't want someone who manipulates his reality in a way where it looks very positive, because reality is reality. Number two, they said we only select people who are above 60, who get more than 60% marks, and less than 80% marks on those students. I said, why? They said, because nobody can be so positive, so positive. If it is more than 80%, we believe that it is all created. This is not real you, but you are playing the game. You are playing the game. You are trying to portray yourself as something which you are not. Okay, so they said, be realistic in life. Wherever you go, be realistic. Yeah, it's good to be positive, but be realistic. So that's my first story to you, where I say, when in a group I see things from miracle to abundance to shukrana to gratitude to everything, one person writes history. Then my first feeling is, uh, it's not reality. It's not. Because in reality, if I meet all of you in a room, or if all of you come to me for a counseling session one-to-one, the reality will be very, very different. And I can tell you, after meeting thousands of people, I can tell you that so basically what's happening is we are all trying to portray a story to the world. And especially in these group sessions, we are not very honest. And we say things which we want to portray. Let me put it this way. Okay. So right now, when I'm talking about this, just think inside yourself. Ask yourself, what would be the real word that perhaps will represent you, which will represent your this juncture in life where you are. Okay. So this is one thing. Number two that I want to share with you is, there are thousands of words, and yet we chose one word. And I'm telling you, the word that you choose becomes suddenly very, very important, because you start committing to it. If I challenge you that that's not a reality, all of you will come back and tell me why you chose that word and why that is that. The choosing itself commits you to certain things. Okay. So in the same way, there are thousands of stories all the time. There is a potential for thousands of stories in our life. but we choose one out of those thousands. Or at that moment, let me give you some examples. Before I give you an example, let me ask you, what is a story? We are all talking about storytelling, but what is a story?
Story is something that you make in your own mind.
Okay.
It is not necessarily fictional.
Okay.
It can be something from real life.
Mm-hmm.
But it is something that we perceive to be.
Okay.
So, can I speak?
Situation maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, please,
Hello.
go ahead.
Yeah. So it is the reasonings and the explanations we give ourselves to satisfy the certain conditions that we are facing.
Yeah.
Maybe, or certain things. Yes.
Yeah.
Sir, we had a training in insurance industries that we have to tell certain stories so that people buy insurance.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what is a story?
Every story should have some message.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
To convince people, or maybe to ride people on our drive. They should be, driven to certain way. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anybody else?
It is a description of something, of something, someone, from our point of view, from our imagination, or from our perspective.
Okay. So look, we have only 1 hour, so I won't go on and on with everyone. If you want, you can just come in, and otherwise I will go ahead. Yeah, please go. Okay, so you're telling me to go ahead. Nice. So let us understand this way: the world is huge. The world is huge. This universe is huge, and like we are talking about miracles and abundance, wonderment. They are things which are beyond expression. Sometimes we just can't express what we feel, what we experience. And there are thousands of events happening in our life all the time. So what we do, we choose some of them. We can't handle all of them. So we choose some of them, and we store it in our mind, in ourselves. Okay, number one. Number two, we convert those events, those experiences, into sensory material, things which we can relate to, for example, which we can relate to. So actually, stories are representation of the outer world in a form where we humans can relate to it. That's why whether a story is about an animal, whether it is about a robot, whatever it is, when you watch a film, a movie, or read a story, you always have some emotion inside, because that story is actually relating to us, the human beings. All our memories are nothing else but stories. And there was a thing someone said about fictional and the real. I'm telling you, everything is fiction. Everything is fiction. Because, like I said, reality is outside. We have seen something. And there are thousands of factors that is making that experience. But we are representing it in our head with some of those factors. We are creating a story in our head. What happened? Number one. Number two, that story is also about how we relate to those experiences. So we are all creating stories in our heads, in our hearts, all the time. So basically, if you ask me what is life, life is a never-ending story. It's a never-ending story. Right now, when I'm talking to you, I want to create a story where that I made a presentation to my friends at Plan to Win, and they heard everything, uh, everything with such attention, and they got a lot of good tips from my presentation, and some of them used it, and that changed their life. That is a story that I want to happen. In the same way, when you are hearing this story, you must be associating with your own memory what you heard about the story. Maybe some stories that you heard in your life are popping up in your inner state. And you are looking forward to something that you can pick. Some of you, I see, are making notes because you want to take something out of this and want to use it. For example, Plan to Win, all of you are here, and everyone will have a different story about Plan to Win. Some will say, oh, it's good to be with like-minded people. When we hear other people's stories, their success, their failures, it helps us, it motivates us. Someone will have a story where they will say, oh, achievers come, they talk good things. When we hear it, it all looks very powerful. But when I go back, I can't use it. I can't use it. So is it practical? Not practical. That person will have another kind of story. And somebody will have a story where they will say, okay, in every presentation, these people talk about a lot of things. I don't know what all they talk about. But every time I get one or two tips, which I applied and I got good results. Based on their story, they will relate to planting. Based on their story, they will come next time or not come next time. So what's happening is, all of us are creating stories in our head all the time, and we are relating with them in some manner. Now let me ask you a question. Is this all becoming messy in your head, or you can understand what I'm? Yeah, please go ahead.
Quite relatable, sir.
Okay.
Things that you're saying. Yeah.
Okay. So let me tell you now few other things. So like I say, we are all creating stories, and it is not possible not to create a story because we are making sense of the world through stories. Same thing happens. Two people see it, they have different stories about that same experience. For example, Kashmir files, everyone is talking about it today. Different people watching it will have different kind of experience. But the most important thing is powerful stories. They start influencing your life, and they influence your life in so many ways which you are not even aware of. Please understand this. You don't know, like I said, many of you will be in a trance, and you are in trance right now when I'm talking to you, and you are not even aware of it. You are not even aware of it. And I'm not putting you in a trance, please. Some people have switched off their videos. They thought I might be hypnotizing. So nothing of that sort is happening right now. But I'm saying we all are in a trance. Why? What is a trance basically? So what is hypnosis? Basically, there are thousands of stories. We take 3, 4, 5 stories, and we start looking to the world through the lens of those stories. And then what we do, every time something happens in our lives, we take that thing to reinforce our stories. Some people who will see Kashmir Files, it will reinforce their stories about humanity. Some people, for them, it will reinforce their stories about hate. People use stories to reinforce their self-image. They use it to reinforce their own stories. Let me tell you this. It is very, very important to be aware that what kind of stories you are looking for. What kind of stories are attractive? What kind of stories you say yes? What kind of stories you do a thumbs down? Because what's really happening is you are reinforcing your own stories. When someone says, I feel less powerful, there is a story you have created in your mind that I'm less powerful. And whenever something happens, when you ask for something and people don't go according to you, you say, look, I know I'm less powerful. If there would be a powerful person asking for the same thing, he or she would have got it. Now your story is reinforced. Again, something else happens and you say, oh, I'm less powerful. I'm not talking about you personally. Okay, what I'm saying is, but this happens. I will give you two most powerful stories that happens to us, and because I don't want to go beyond my time because this is early morning and we all came here with certain expectations of an hour. So let me tell you one thing. There are thousands of stories. There are thousands of stories, and we can talk about it later on if you want. You can connect with me. But there are two primary stories. And I have done a lot of work on NLP, persuasion, psychology, hypnosis, counseled many people, created many community, and on basis of my experience. I'm not saying this is gospel truth, but on that experience. I understand there are two stories which are most important. And most people, rather all people, they either choose one story or they choose other story. And they are even not aware of. The story number one, and that is the most prominent story, is that this world outside is very powerful. It's a mighty world. It's a mighty world. And I can't influence it. This is such a mighty world, and I'm just a drop in this ocean. That is the first. And related to that story is that such a mighty world, and it's against me. You can call it as a worldview, but that worldview is it's a mighty world and it is against me. I am telling you, look inside yourself right now, maybe after the session, and ask yourself, is that a story running in you? And not just to portray that, oh no, I am very positive. That's all bullshit. Ask yourself, be with yourself, and ask, is that a story? Do I think the world is very powerful, very mighty, and is against myself? Because and this story will then influence all your decisions, all your decisions. Who to marry, who to befriend, with whom to do business, all things. So this is one story. And the other story is there is a world outside. It's a mighty world, very powerful world. And that world helps me do things. Let us forget about positivity. Let us forget about negativity. Let me put it this way. Either the world is against you or the world helps you. Please understand. They are two stories. When you think and feel that world is with you. So for example, when you think the world is against me, you don't even start many things. You don't even dream big. Because you say, what's the point? I am all alone, and there are so many competitors, and there are so many people in authority, and any day they can create a new policy, and my business will be doomed. And that's the truth. If you start reinforcing that story, you will find so many examples. Police, bureaucracy, people who are not honest, you will get so much to reinforce your story that you won't be able to dream big. Let me put it this way. That's one story. And it will seem so true to you because it will be reinforced with all the proofs that you need. And you can win anyone in a debate. Number one. The number two story, when you think that, oh, I don't know, I am so small, the world is so big, but somehow people come and help me, then perhaps you will do things which are beyond you, because you will always think maybe some people will come and help me. It might not be true, it might not be very rational, but with that kind of attitude, mindset, when someone will come and help you, even in a small manner, you will say, oh, look, people come and help you. The other thing will happen and you will say, oh, people come and help me. Oh, people come and help me. I am saying the abundance that we are talking about, I think that will become real to you. I'm saying if I think about abundance, it doesn't help me. Let me put it this way. I understand one thing. Whatever story I create, is it helping me in some way? When I start things happening in reality, even if they are small drops, it start building my story and I start believing in my story with my own experience. And then suddenly at one point, your world, look, I understand when we talk about world, what the world is. First of all, understand your world. We're not talking about the whole universe. Your world. People who are your friends, people who are your family. That is the world we are talking about. And they come, they start helping you in some way. In a way, in Plan to Win, what you are trying to create is a world, which can come and help, which can reinforce that story. World helps. And I'm telling you, this is such a fantastic frame to think in. And I'm telling you again and again, I don't talk about positive, I don't talk about negative. Does your story help you be authentic? And that authentic is when you create that story, when the abundance is there from your real point of view, when you can say, oh, look, there are 10, I can give you 10 examples when people really help. I can give you 100 examples when I wanted to do something or somebody else wanted to do something and they got it done. Okay, so that authenticity comes from yourself. So these are two stories which are running inside us all the time. We are not aware of it. We are only, what we are doing is, we are choosing some stories which reinforce story number one or story number two. So be very careful what you choose, what kind of stories you choose, what kind of stories attract you, what you are telling yourself all the time, what you are telling yourself all the time. And I will give you an example then, and then I will open it for questions if there are any. One person came to me and I said, Puneet, I'm very unlucky in life. I said, why you think so? And he told me there are 100 things. There are 100 things. I proposed to some girl and she broke my heart. I do more work than other people in my organization, but people who are less deserving than me, they are promoted. And there are so many things. He said, I'm unlucky. I said, let's change the story. And he's a close friend. I won't tell his name also. But he's a close friend. And I told him, look, do an experiment. Let's create a new story. And that story is that you are lucky. He said, but I'm not lucky. He said, I'm not lucky. a story that you are lucky. It's all about a story that you are lucky. Okay. From next day, we started compiling all the things that made him lucky. And things which are as simple as in Mumbai, you are traveling, and in the train, he got the window seat. People who are in Mumbai would understand this much better. But he got a window seat. And he said, Puneet, I'm so lucky. I got a window seat. Great. Puneet, I am so lucky. You know, today in bus, the girl smiled at me. Just smiled. What we started doing, we said anything, everything, even if it is a small thing which is happening, which you can put a seal saying, oh, I'm lucky, I am lucky, I'm lucky. Soon, one day he said, Puneet, I'm so lucky now. So many things happens to me which I don't work for, but I get them. I'm lucky. And I'm telling you, whole life changed, whole life changed. Because the story which is running inside you is also influencing people outside of you. Let me rephrase it in another way. When I choose a story, people who fit into that story, the characters, they walk into your life because they fit into your story. They can feel that this person, I fit into this person's story. So I am not talking about secret. Okay, please understand. I am not talking about law of attraction. Please understand. I have very different views on those things. What I am saying is, people walk into your story. Characters walk into your story. When they see potential for them in your story, they will come and join your story. So, be very aware what kind of story you are reinforcing. And that will change a lot of things. Reinforce the story very consciously. So I'm saying, I was in a news channel. I'm telling you, be aware what kind of news you are watching. Be aware what kind of social media you are consuming. I always tell people, don't commit to one side of a story. Also look for the other side of the story. So if you read a newspaper which is very pro left wing, also read a newspaper which is very pro right wing. Because that will give you, if you think there is abundance in life, I'm saying also take a look saying there are constraints in life. And say how people in constant also did well, because I don't think just abundance is needed. Those constraints are also needed. We have done great things when there are constraints in life. So I'm saying, see the other point of view. See, let more stories be there in your life, and that will help you much more. So happy World Storytelling Day, which is tomorrow, and happy Holi, which was yesterday, and happy being here with me, which is now. If you have any questions.
Thank you, Puneet. Thank you so much. And I'll also want to encourage any questions for the next 5 minutes, and then we'll hope to close at 9. But any questions from there? Because what we got out of it was that, you know, life is a never-ending story, and how can you have stories that is going to forward you in life? What I got out of it. How can
I would like to hear from all the people. Sure. If they can add what they got out of it. So that's the story I want to create.
Puneet, I have a question.
Yeah, please.
How to maintain authenticity? आपने बोला कि हम लोग नशे में होते हैं, परसेप्शन में होते हैं, और बहुत बार हम स्टोरी बनाने के लिए झूठ भी बोलते हैं कि नहीं, ग्लोरीफाई करते हैं बहुत सारी चीजें. एंड एट द सेम टाइम यू सेड दैट कि हमको दोनों साइड्स देखने हैं, पॉजिटिव भी देखना है, नेगेटिव भी देखना है. So how to maintain the authenticity कि हाँ, हम जो स्टोरी हमारे दिमाग में या फिर हमारे परसेप्शन में है, वो उससे हम उसके साथ हम सच्चाई रखें. तो that is my question. I'm complete.
My answer to that, Shalaka, is like I said, your story should come from your experience. So even if you hear a story from Panchtantra or something from Bible, I'm saying a good story. Now see how it happens in your life. When you practice it, what happens to you? Okay, then that also authenticity will come. That authenticity. For example, I'm talking about law of attraction, and so many times when I said, "Oh, I thought of this and it happened," I thought of this and it happened, and then one day I said, "There are 1,000 things which I thought and never happened." So rather than me preaching people believe in this, I stopped talking about it, and I said, "Don't talk about it, Puneet, because you yourself don't believe it." So what I'm saying is, when I start believing in it and when I can take my decisions in my life on basis of that thing, then it is authentic for me. That is my way of. So people talk about values, big values. I'm saying, I'm a creativity and innovation trainer, and I go to corporates, and they have core values which says innovation is our core value. And I go there and I ask, who is the person who is accountable for innovation in this? Is there innovation director in this company? You say, what is innovation? Who takes care of innovation here? If that's not important to you, there is no one person who is looking after it. There is no money you allocated for that particular thing. How is it a core value? I am saying versus someone who doesn't write innovation, but it happens in their day-to-day work process, the decision making. What I'm saying is authenticity is it should come from within. You should be able to take decisions. You should be able to put money on it. If you can't put your money on it, then don't talk about it.
Thank you so much.
So I'm saying.
Any other question? Any other?
Sir, may I take a turn?
Please, please.
Okay, it was great listening to you, but my question may go a bit off track.
Yeah.
So we are talking about adults over here, right?
Okay.
But being a single mother, having a single child, I have usually encountered a position where it is very difficult to actually implement what exactly you are saying.
Mhm.
To accept all the challenges and then still say that life is abundant or happy or any which way it goes. Similarly, my child struggles with few things that a single child or a single parent child could go with. My question is, can we implement the same thing with a child, make him believe that the world is all rosy, not looking at the negative side or whatever comes through his path, and still tell him to look at the brighter side of the picture? Won't it make him emotionally a bit weak, not looking at the negative side and just looking at the positive side, reassuring yourself that everything is going to be okay at the end of the day?
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Were you here for the full session?
Yes, sir, I have been.
I said the same thing. This rosiness doesn't work.
Exactly.
I never said that show him a rosy picture. I'm telling you another thing to the whole group. Tell a story which don't say world is like this, world is like this. Tell him or her a story. And anyway, they will hear so many stories outside.
Exactly, yeah.
So in that case, you tell him a story where the world is not rosy, where people struggle, but then they won. Tell him a story which reinforces story number 2, which is there's a mighty world out there. It's rough, but there are people who help you out in creating what you want to do. I totally understand what you're talking about because I have met with many single parents, not just mothers but fathers also. And I'm telling you, all parents go through this. All parents go through this because we want our kids to think and behave in certain manner, but the stories that they hear from their peers,
Yeah.
from this world of internet, everything is different. Everything is different. So what I'm saying, it's a struggle for everyone. Number one, what we can do is tell them stories in some format through our actions and our behavior. I'm saying storytelling is not just telling a story verbally. The best story happens through example, where we behave in certain way, and they say, "Oh, my father behaved this way in this situation, and this happened." I'm telling you, this is his or her story. This is if if we come across a situation and we are scared and we behave in a way where we don't go ahead because of those barriers, you don't have to tell them a story. There's the story for them. Like, look, we have to be scared when this happens. So what I'm saying is, then in that case, and another thing is, you can always reinforce a story that, look, I'm a single mother. That's why we have to live a life which doesn't have this. Or we can have a story where you say, I'm a single mother. And that's why you will turn out to be a better human. You will turn out to be a stronger human being. If you, Gitanjali, if I can share a story here, because the time is constant, I just don't want to go beyond my time. Simple story. I was a Hindi copywriter. Let me put it this way. I was a Hindi copywriter. In world of advertising, Hindi copywriters were translators. English people will do something, we will translate. But I always wanted to create something original. So I was thinking, oh, I am just a Hindi copywriter. I am nobody in this world of advertising. But then one day I went to a workshop. And in that workshop, there were some 20 English copywriters. And me alone who was Hindi. Hindi copywriters were not supposed to be there. Okay. Because they were like, these people don't create. But my boss believed in me. He sent me to this. In that workshop, they gave many projects, many things to do. And when I started contributing to my team, and because I am coming from Hindi belt, I have gone to rural markets, I have seen rural India and a lot of things. When I contributed to those projects, suddenly everybody said, this team is have an advantage because they have a Hindi copywriter who comes from hinterland, who understand India, and he is at a privilege. And suddenly a bulb goes there in my mind. I said, I am a Hindi. It's an advantage to be a Hindi person. And next day, I'm telling you, suddenly this self-image changed. The story in my mind changed. I started making presentations in Hindi. I went to Unilever and I made a presentation, marketing presentation in Hindi. I said, this can't be said in English. I will do it in Hindi. How my target audience thinks, how that lady behaves, what she does. And I'm telling you, they said, this is what we want. We don't want that second-hand translation. We don't believe in this English copywriter. I'm sorry if there are English people here, mother tongue. Well, for us in India, they said, this is not true. Just what you are saying makes sense. And then in every meeting, there was one thing mandatory. Puneet Bhatnagar should be there in the meetings. Why? Because he will contribute to us from his Hindi experience, from that cultural experience. So I'm saying that story changed, and suddenly I was flying. It's all a matter of the story. So I'm saying, if you are a single mother, maybe it's a privilege. Change the story. I'm telling you, change the story and say how you can really bring up or nurture a child who gets certain values. And now it looks rosy. Again, I am using your own words. do it and see. And every single day, say, for example, if you have to choose his or her, I'm asking you.
I have a son. He's
Son.
8 years old. Yeah.
Yeah. So now, for example, I worked with a lot of SMEs, business people, and people said, "Oh, yeah, SMEs are not professional." But then I said, there is one single person who takes a decision, and it's very nice to work with him because if he likes my advice, he will implement it tomorrow. Whether in some corporate culture, there are 20 meetings and committees and the researches. What I think today will happen after 1 year or may not happen. So I'm very happy to work with SMEs. I'm saying, see it and do it. And say if you want to take a decision for your son, you can take it today. You don't have to talk to some other person saying, हम ऐसा करें क्या नहीं करें क्या, and that person will say, oh, but the budget, what will happen to this, what will happen to that, what in-laws will think. I'm just saying, think about it. What a privilege. You believe in something. You ask him, hey, should we do this? Together we should do it.
So thank you, Puneet. Thank you so much for contributing so immensely to SS and all of us. I think this is just the beginning, and we can see that there's so much more we can do with this topic, and also with the power of sharing that stories that you have in you. And in just the lack of paucity of time, I'll ask my colleague Darshana to take over now and have you for the second round for sure, because I think there's so many questions unanswered. Over to you, Darshana.
Yes. Thank you so much. So first of all, apologies to everybody for extending the time, guys. I'm going to complete this in 1 minute. Puneet, you have been extraordinary. We were already anticipating this. And thank you, Arun, for introducing Puneet to our community. And guys, let me tell you that, yes, most of our super leaders, we are 7 people, and we have done various trainings in communication. And we completely believe that we are creating. So as you rightly said, Puneet, that creating your life through stories is very, very powerful. Like I create by saying that I am blessed and right things happen at the right time. And this is what happened, right? Storytelling happened exactly the session a day before storytelling a day. And also get it that acknowledgement बहुत जरूरी है कि आपके लाइफ में अभी क्या हो रहा है. अगर उसको एक्नॉलेज ही नहीं करोगे, देन वो ट्रांस जो है आपको बहुत डिफिकल्टी में डाल सकता है, राइट? सो व्हाइल यू आर क्रिएटिंग यू आर आल्सो एक्नॉलेजिंग व्हाटएवर यू वांट टू सी इन योर लाइफ एंड व्हाटएवर इज हैपनिंग हियर. सो गाइस, हम ना मार्च के महीने में है, ऑलरेडी 3 महीने खत्म हो चुके हैं. वी आर ऑलमोस्ट कंप्लीटिंग आवर क्वार्टर फॉर 2022. सो पुनीत जी और जो भी नए आए हैं उनको बताना चाहूंगी कि वी डू अ लॉट ऑफ ट्रेनिंग्स ऑन प्रोडक्टिविटी एंड ऑल्सो गोल सेटिंग. सो ये गोल सेटिंग बहुत डिफरेंट क्यों है? क्योंकि हम कम्युनिकेशन के जो हमारी ट्रेनिंग्स है उसमें से जो भी हमने क्या कहते हैं नगेट्स लिए हैं, गोल्डन नगेट्स, वो हम शेयर करते हैं हमारे पार्टिसिपेंट्स के साथ. सो गाइज, मेरे कलीग्स ने यहाँ पे ऑलरेडी लिंक्स डाली हुई हैं हमारे ओपन ग्रुप के लिए, जो हार्ट टू हार्ट प्लान टू विन का ग्रुप है. जरूर आइए और अपने लाइफ में अगर आपको वापस से गोल सेटिंग, व्हाई डू इट ओनली इन जनवरी? हम हमारे रिमेनिंग 3 क्वार्टर के लिए प्लानिंग कर सकते हैं. अभी भी वक्त नहीं गया है गाइस, राइट? वी स्टिल हैव 75% ऑफ द ईयर to be taken over. Yeah, so let us take control. Please join the groups. हम planning to win 2022 का एक session करते हैं. उसके लिए जरूर आइए, ये free session है. Okay, from there we take it forward and you can enter into our paid programs as well. So once again, Puneet, thank you for this all the important stories that you shared, and definitely all our participants will start sharing stories and telling stories that will empower them while also acknowledging where they are. So over to you, Gitanjali.
Okay, I'm just saying I have put my email ID in the chat box. If anyone of you have any answers.
Yes, Puneet has shared your credentials. In fact, your Twitter handles and all. Anybody who wants to connect with Puneet must do that, and he's doing some amazing work for the city of Ujjain. Like I said, 1.5 lakhs subscribers and followers. He's got some great, contributions to society, and he's quite amazing as a person. And thank you for coming on board for Plan to Win. We're really honored to have you, and we really look forward to creating the next set of, going ahead with this introduction to storytelling and how we can get power of our own stories out by being fearless. So let's hope to create that for the next session. And once again, thank you everyone for joining Saturday promptly before time. In fact, we'll see you next Saturday at the same time. Stay connected, join Plan to Win chat. We have given the links above if you are not still on the chat. So you have updates on the next sessions to come. Thank you. And if you want to go forward, I think we'll have a session on Sunday morning on the chat box, on the chat in WhatsApp, Instagram, WhatsApp session. You will have the links to that also for tomorrow's session. So thank you for participating.
Okay, thank you everyone.